Namaste. Welcome you all on this Friday morning, afternoon, whatever you say, 12 baj rahe hain. I welcome you all on this behalf of the committee on MSME and startup. My very respected chairman, CA Dheeraj Khandelwal ji, who is a Central Council member from the Western region from Mumbai. My senior in the colleague, my chairman, this is his second term. He is doing a wonderful job in the council, guiding us and taking whatever points that are required and keeping it his mind free and fair whenever there is any point to be discussed upon without any bias, I would say. So that is really great. And this committee, which has been formed for the first time by our Honorable President CA Nihan Ananja Jambusagia sir, this year the Committee on MSME and Startup, and the leadership was given to very I would say the person who takes a committee for the initial year itself, within the initial year itself, to a great heights under the leadership of Dheeraj Bhai. We are seeing it because in this year itself we have done a new platform, the portal of the committee of MSME and startup, where all the schemes etc. are available. We already started the course, the certificate course, 2 batches already under process, and the International MSME Day, which was celebrated by nearly 100 branches on the same day, and we had the MOS ministry in our institute speaking to all of our members on that day. So a great day and a great working done by our committee under the leadership of Dheeraj Bhai. And this topic today, because we have had lots and lots of webinars, I would say, whereby we have tried and disseminate, because the purpose of this committee further is not only to help the nation in the partner building, a partner in the nation building, merely in the compliance laws, but taking the MSME to the new heights, which the government's agenda is there to take the economy to the 5 trillion economy. And the role of MSME, you cannot just undermine in that, especially helping the MSMEs and helping them make exports so that the MSMEs contribute to a great extent. And the role of chartered accountants, the role of this committee is to help the government as well as the MSMEs through our professionals throughout, which are through the length and breadth of the country. 164 branches, 5 regions. So all we are having, so all chartered accountants, all branches which we are having, the help centers under the able leadership of Dheeraj Bhai, will be having that. And the topic today is the very important MSME Samadhan. That if you don't get the payment, Udyam registered persons within 45 days, if there is a written agreement, if there is not a written agreement, then within 15 days, no. And getting that, how the MSME Samadhan can be very helpful. And another question which is again would be coming in the minds of various people, that now even the traders are allowed for a limited purpose to be registered under the Udyam registration, Udyam. So whether they would be, as an MSME, so whether they would be also allowed to get that benefit of MSME Samadhan or not. So all that our speaker, Dr. Ajay Garg, would be taking care. But yes, the committee under the leadership of Dheeraj Bhai is doing a splendid job, which is, though I'm a part of that committee, I'm his vice chair, so I should not say that, yes, promote ourselves, but yes, this is a fact that in the first year itself, the committee has been doing a commendable job under the leadership of Dheeraj Bhai. I request my honorable chairman to give his keynote at least.
Thank you, Pramodji and the Honorable Speaker of the Ajay Garg. First of all, I want to clarify to all the participants, it's not I only alone. We have the committee, we have the jointly responsibility by the Pramodji. So whatever that he appreciates is also applicable to him also. So it's a appreciation to him also, whatever the things is being done as the jointly. And friends, this is another series, as already mentioned by the Pramodji. We have number of series on the MSMEs. Yesterday we were having on the virtual CFO. Day before yesterday we had on export incentives, and today we have Sahayata, intervention or the payment side. These are the benefits for our chartered accountant, how they can relate everything, day-to-day things into the functioning. As we have guided to all members in various different part of various subsidy, various schemes, various central government, state governments, and this is today topic is very relevant after the government has announced the ambit of MSME to the extended MSME to the wholesaler, retailers, all people are getting into it. As rightly mentioned by Pramodji, this is as of now whether it's only related to the priority sector lending or whether it's also be related to the payment side. And that is why we wanted to have a clarity from our speakers, which is going to be there, or is the ambiguity, whatever the right to the ministry as well as what us clarity is going to solve. So these are the areas, pinpoints are there, where I expect Ajayji will also put his thought on your view or something if it is on ambiguity or some issues are there or whether how it can be taken forward. We as a committee will take this to the notice of the government as well as the ministry. We sought the time from the ministry. We'll take it away. As of now, Pramodji is a learned faculty as well as the person. He, in his view, is a 45 days activity is not going to be there for the wholesaler and trader. But let's take the view from the Ajayji also, how we narrate the things, whether this will applicable or not. So this is important aspects, and not only this area for wholesale and trader, it's a great opportunities for the all chartered accountants, which MSMEs, about 30 lakh MSMEs are there, which are registered under Uddham legislation. And we came out the insolvency professional, that one of the opportunities for under IBC, you can make the payment, you can recover the payment. It's like, the check bounce case, kind of 138 case was there. Then after the advocate, then the IBC came into the picture. That's the recovery case. Now it's again, this is the another case for the practicing chartered accountant, rather than going in IBC because because the limit size increased to 1 crore rupees. People cannot go for the IBC. Now this is the only area where the MSME is protected. Their money is protected through this Uddham legislation. And this what are the how the Samadhan portal, how the resolution process will be there, where we need to understand and need to guide to our clients how they can recover the money. That's also another step or area for the chartered accountant where we feel this is required a lot of deliberation, lot of hand holding. Just knowing in the books if these provisions are available is not going to no mood only. So let's explain in detail, and we have very good faculty, Dr. Ajay Dalji, who is a company secretary, LLB, MBA. I don't know, what are the degrees. I think 10, 50 degrees. I think he's holding. And basically, he's having 35 years of experience. Mostly, he's working in the startup area where he's giving the mentorship of 60 plus startup. Ajayji, we also have the startup group. So we'd like to have your expertise into the startup area. We are just starting going to have incubation centers, ideation centers, a lot of things we are starting in the startup. We'll also take your help. And you were on the board of the Corporation Bank in 2008 to 11. That is also another area. And you have also written the book on the SME, Make in India, and the practitioner. So we have good faculty, Dr. Ajay Dalji, who is from the Delhi NIC region, company secretary, not chartered accountant, but LLB, MBA. So let's present before you, Ajay Dalji. So Ajayji, floor is yours. And first wanted to we are both the learner. Pramodji myself is going to learner. Want to understand what is applicable to this. So need a thought from you. So before you will speak to the participant, please also enlighten us on this subject. You are unmuted. Unmute yourself, sir.
Thank you, Dheeraj. Thank you, Pramod. I know both of you very well. You may not be knowing me or may not be remembering. And today's session going to be wonderful session. When this session was planned, it was talked about that whether this topic has something for 2 hours. I said not only 2 hours, not only 2 hours, but this is the topic which can instantly put money in the pocket of the professional, practicing professional.
Correct.
Because this is a topic which can instantly put money in the pocket of the practicing professional. And as a practicing chartered accountant, the practicing professional are allowed to appear before facilitation council, which do the hears for these matters, which do the hears for these matters. And therefore, this is one of the most apt topic. And as
Excellent. Yes.
Pramodji
Very
told
good.
that this topic is that this topic is connected with the recent development. And this recent development is where the traders, wholesaler and retailers have been allowed now to take Udyam registration. And initially there is a tussle because every change results into some sort of apprehensions, and there are apprehensions in the mind of manufacturers, there are apprehensions in the mind of service providers that whether their cake now need to be shared by the wholesaler and retailers, and they are resisting it, and they are talking that create separate ministry for wholesalers and retailers, and whatever has been given to us shall not be shared with the wholesalers and retailers. So let us see how things evolve. But as of now, and today I shall talk about the MSME Samadhan, and there is a minor change. That change is that kindly read this subtopic as faster and cheaper solution for payment delay, not dispute, but payment delay. And the task for which I have been given, that is that I have been told by Dheeraj to teach swimming lessons to the fishes. You are the expert, and many of you are already doing all these things. But still, the task which has been assigned to me, I will do that task so that youngsters who may not have this exposure of MSc Facilitation Council, or may not have exposure, or may not be aware that they are eligible to appear over there, because it is a sort of arbitration, it is a sort of mediation. And I will tell so that youngsters also connect with this and be practicing chartered accountants from smaller cities and mid-sized cities can also connect with this opportunity which is available in abundance. Just brief background. The background is that this MSME Development Act, because of Dheeraj now everybody is aware about this MSME Development Act 2006. But this act replaced SSI Undertaking Act 1993. And this SSI Undertaking Act was specifically see the two changes which happened in this transition. First change was that earlier act had the word industry, and this word industry was replaced by enterprise. That was the time when service sector got the recognition and got clubbed with small scale industry. Prior to that, prior to 2006, only industry was small scale. Service sector was, there was no segregation for small scale or large scale or micro scale. This is first change. And second change is that till 2006, small scale, the word which was used was small scale, means only two bifurcations were there, small and then straight away large. But this 2006 was transition period where small was further subdivided into three: micro, small, and medium. And this Samadhan scheme, I shall repeat, this Samadhan scheme is not for second M. This Samadhan scheme is only for micro and small, not for medium. And that is the reason when we will be discussing today's session, then you will notice that the facilitation councils which are created in every state, these facilitation councils are known as MSE, and second M is missing from them because medium enterprises are not eligible for this benefit of MSC Samadhan, MSE. Anyway, let us talk about Udyam registration. As Pramod ji were talking about this Udyam registration, and you know that this Udyam registration is recent development. This is post-corona development where one fine day Udyog Aadhaar number, which was earlier known as entrepreneurship memorandum. Later on, it was changed to Udyog Aadhaar number, and now from 1st April 2021, only Udyam registration. All other earlier numbers now subsumed into Udyam registration, and even if the MSME was having Udyog Aadhaar number, the validity of that was up to 31st March 2021. And after that, Udyam registration is the only registration, and basically this is not registration, this is an acknowledgement. And this is happening through a system which is centralized portal managed by central government, and this portal, this development has resulted into removal of all sorts of bad practices which were there in district industry center or at other places wherever these registrations were happening earlier. Now this is clean, there is no fees at all. That means officially there is no fees for Udyam registration. If you go on official website, you can do it, or even MSME itself can do it for a free, no fees. But professional fees, yes, if professional is working, then fees will be there. Now, straight away, let us talk about this recovery process. Recovery process, docs checking. If we talk about the recovery process, then this recovery process is mentioned in Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Act 2006. And here 10 sections are devoted for this recovery process, and we will go through all these sections. But first of all, let me take you to the procedure. The procedure is number one, that docs checking. What is this docs checking? Document checking. Suppose that you are part of this recovery process as a professional, then first thing is scrutiny of the documents, whether proper documents are there or not. In absence of proper documents, there may be challenges. Challenges in the form that if later on, due to lack of proper documentation, due to procedural issues, due to technical issues, if this matter is not successful, then as a professional, you may not like it, because professional stakes are there. Professional reputation is at stake. Therefore, docs checking is the initial exercise which must be done carefully. And what is there in docs checking? In docs checking, if we are going for the recovery process, the critical documents are, first of them is Udyam registration. Whether Udyam registration is there, what is the essence of this registration? That if this registration is not there, then that MSE, micro and small enterprise, is not eligible to get the benefit of MSME Development Act. Then other documents, let us talk about invoice, let us talk about purchase order, let us talk about delivery proof, let us talk about delivery challan, let us talk about the confirmations if there is any, let us talk about the continuity, let us talk even about the limitation, though limitation is applicable in MSME Development Act to certain extent with some riders. And once this docs checking is complete, and as a professional, you are aware that yes, this case has a merit and there is no flaw. And if there is no flaw, then what will happen? Then you can go ahead. And I shall tell you that the beauty is that here legal notice is not mandatory. Because legal notice is not mandatory, this makes the things easy. And then thereafter filing case in MSE Facilitation Council. What is this Facilitation Council? This Facilitation Council, we will talk in detail about this Facilitation Council. This is basically a forum created in almost every state under the control of state, and this Facilitation Council facilitates recovery process for the micro and small units which are located within the territory of that state. Means, suppose supplier is in Maharashtra and the receiver of goods or services is in Haryana. Then first question which may come in the young mind is that whether this case will be filed in Maharashtra or this case will be filed in Haryana, or this case is required to be filed at both places, or what will happen. So here one need to understand that jurisdiction for Facilitation Council is decided on the basis of location of the supplier. Supplier or service provider. Supplier means supplier of goods and service provider means service enterprises. And see, I shall repeat that if supplier is located in Maharashtra, then case need to be filed for recovery in micro and small enterprises Facilitation Council, which is in Maharashtra. Now, let us move that when this case is being filed, is there a need to serve the copy to other party? Answer is yes. There is a need to serve copy to the other party so that that party becomes aware. This has been seen that 20% of the cases get settled at the time of serving of the case to the other party, or if you go for the legal notice, then at that stage, this has been seen with the experience that yes, 20% cases get settled at that stage. And then what happens at Facilitation Council? At Facilitation Council, first thing is scrutiny of the documents. And if there are any discrepancies, then opportunity to remove those discrepancies are given to the appellant. And conciliation efforts, yes. After this scrutiny of document, the hearing date is fixed. On hearing date, notice is served to both the parties. And if both the parties are present, then endeavor of MSE Facilitation Council is to go for conciliation efforts between those two parties. If conciliation efforts, mediation efforts fails, then what happens? Then MSE Facilitation Council under the Act is empowered to refer the matter for the purpose of arbitration. And some of the state governments have created a pool of, almost all the state governments have created a pool of empaneled arbitrators. And these empaneled arbitrators, on the basis of geographical location of the complainant, these matters are assigned to the arbitrators from that city. Let us take it further. What happens that when matter has been referred to the arbitrator, then any of the party can approach the arbitrator. Arbitrator tells about his fees, which is codified by most of the state councils. And on the basis of that, first of all, the fees is to be payable to arbitrator by both the parties. 50-50%. Means complainant as well as defendant both have to pay the fees to the arbitrator. And this fees is basically this fees is dependent upon the quantum of amount. And this has been seen that slabs have been created in most of the states for this fees of the arbitrator to be paid directly by the complainant as well as defendant for arbitration. After that, written arguments may be invited by the arbitrator. He may give personal hearing, and after these personal hearing and written arguments or deliberations and discussions, their arbitration award happens. This is next important milestone where arbitration pronounces his decision, that is known as arbitration award. And after this arbitration award, if this award is not honored by the complainant, then what to do? If this award is not honored by both the parties, then complainant, if award is in his favor, can file a case for decree. Means up to arbitration award, this is possible for practicing chartered accountant to handhold the client. And at the time of filing case for decree, because this will be filed in the local court, and that local court also the local court where not the supplier but the receiver of the goods or services is located. And in courts, even in lower courts, we as a professionals are not allowed to appear. Therefore, at the stage of decree, the case is to be referred to the counterpart practicing advocate so that he can take the handholding thereafter. And then award of decree by the local court. After that, appointment of recovery officer. After that, recovery. Now, suppose you are representing the defendant, then there is a situation that arbitration award has been awarded by the arbitrator, and after that your client wants to file appeal against award or want to file appeal against decree or want to file appeal against order of the facilitation council. Is it possible? Answer is yes, this is possible. Defendant can file appeal, but there is a rider that whatever is the quantum of amount in award, decree or order, 75% of that money needs to be deposited. Only after deposition of 75% of the amount mentioned in the award, decree or order, appeal can be filed against this. And this works as very important critical ball, and this has been seen that in more than 95% of the cases, appeal is not filed against the award, decree or order of the arbitrator for the simple reason that 75% of money, if it is to be deposited before filing an appeal, then it does not make any sense. Let us talk what all is mentioned in chapter 5, delayed payments to micro and small enterprises. Now see, here I have not mentioned second M. I have mentioned only one M, means micro and small can take the benefit of this chapter, and medium enterprises are not eligible to take the benefit of this chapter. As Pramodji were talking about traders, wholesalers and retailers, as of now, when we are having this session, there is no restriction that traders or wholesalers cannot avail benefit of this MSC Samadhan. There is no such circular. Means they are equally eligible, but not all. Only the traders who falls in the category of micro and small as per the new definition. Now let us see that in chapter, just so that whenever, if you have not done such assignments before, whenever you do assignment, you know what is the basic premise of the law where it is mentioned. Number one, from section 15 under chapter 5 of MSME Development Act, liability of buyer to make payment. This section talks about that buyer is liable to make payment within 45 days. If agreement is for less than 45 days, then as per the agreement. If agreement is for more than 45 days, then within 45 days, the payment must be released. And see this section 16. And before I go for these sections, I shall go for the section about which each of you is aware. Let us first discuss section 22 because each of you is aware about this section, that requirement to specify unpaid amount with interest in the annual statements of account. See, as a statutory auditor, all of you are aware about this requirement that this amount need to be mentioned separately. The amount which is unpaid, which is payable to MSME sector, is required to be mentioned in the audited accounts by way of note. And this, the genesis of this requirement is section 22 of MSME Development Act. You are aware about. And therefore, I thought that I shall talk about section 22 first, and then I shall move back to section 15 again. Liability of buyer, as Pramodji were telling that this is 45 days. Yes, this continues to be 45 days. And if even if agreement says 90 days, the payment must be released within 45 days. That is what is mentioned in the law. And law prevails if agreement talks something different. There is deviation in the agreement in reference to the law. Now, section 16, date from which and rate at which interest is payable. Now, if payment is not made in 45 days, then what happens? This is mentioned in section 16. Section 16 says that if payment is not made within 45 days, then interest becomes payable to MSME. This is the legal situation. And what happens? How this rate and date is decided? Date is from 45th day from the date of receipt of services or goods. Means interest will be payable from 46th day maximum. If agreement is for 30 days, then interest becoming due will start from 31st day. If agreement is for 60 days, interest will start getting accumulated from 46th day. And rate, it is mentioned 3 times of the bank rate as prescribed by RBI. If suppose RBI rate is 4.25% bank rate, then this will be multiplied by 3, and that is the rate at which this interest will be payable. Now, section 17 talks about recovery of amount due, that if amount is due, how to recover this amount. And section 18 talks about that MSC Facilitation Council, and this Facilitation Council is to be created by every state, and states are empowered to create more than one offices of the Facilitation Council. And what is the role of Facilitation Council? Facilitation Council's role is twin role. Twin role is assigned to Facilitation Council. First role is of acting as a conciliator between both the parties, and if conciliation fails, then go for arbitration, and this arbitration process shall be completed within 90 days. This is mentioned in section 18. And section 19 says that if application for setting aside decree or award or order, then what is to be done? 75% of the amount is to be deposited in the court. Only then appeal can be filed against decree, award or order. This is what section 19 talks about. Section 20 talks about establishment of MSC Facilitation Council, that who will head it, who all can become the member of this, how members will get nominated, whether state is empowered to frame its own guidelines for MSC Facilitation Council, and while framing the guidelines, what should be followed by the state governments. This all is mentioned in section 20. Section 21 talks about composition of MSc Facilitation Council, that director industry need to be the member of this committee, then one representative of industry association, then eminent person, and then like this. This is mentioned in section 21 that what can be the composition of micro and small enterprise facilitation council. Section 22 we have already discussed, and we know that in all statutory, all audited balance sheets, this MSME amount which is unpaid at the date of the balance sheet, that is required to be separately mentioned by way of the note along with the interest due on such amount which is overdue. And section 23 is also related to the worthy practicing chartered accountants who are in the field of income tax. They know that any interest which is to be paid on MSME amount, that is not allowed as a deduction from income tax matter, and you are already aware about that. And a scheme for closure of business of MSME, this is another section where central government is empowered to frame the rules. Before IBC, there was an attempt, but because IBC came, so then that was dropped, and now IBC have separate regulation for that, about which Dheeraj ji were talking, and these are the sections. Now, let me take you to centralized portal. This centralized portal is created by central government so that complete data is available, and this centralized portal goes with the name Samadhan, means this is child portal, that msme.gov.in, that is the main portal, and on that portal there is child portal with the name Samadhan, and this becomes MSc Samadhan. And this, we will visit the child portal also right now during this session, but prior to that, let us talk what all this scheme is about, which is fast, why this is faster, why this is cheaper for recovery of payment delays. Number one, that this scheme, as I told you, is applicable only for micro and small enterprises. This is not available for medium size enterprises. Medium enterprises cannot avail this benefit. Number two, this portal facilitates online filing. And online filing, as far as state councils are concerned, is allowed in some states, but most of the states ask for physical filing. And fees, yes, small fees is payable to MSc Facilitation Council. In Haryana, this is 3,500 rupees. And in most of the state councils, facilitation councils, this is less than 5,000. And arbitration fees, that is separate over and above. If matter is not decided by way of conciliation and mediation, then matter is referred to the arbitrator who are empaneled by state level micro and small enterprise facilitation council, and empaneled arbitrator on the basis of geographical convenience of the complainant are assigned the task of going for arbitration. Arbitration fees is there. Arbitration is time bound, 90 days. Because of certain difficulties, if time is jumped, then arbitrator is responsible to justify the delay to the facilitation council, and his empanelment may be removed by the facilitation council. Now let us talk about finding address of MSc Facilitation Council, because this program is being organized by Central Committee, and delegates from all across India are attending this program. Therefore, let us stop sharing here this PPT for some time. We will again come back and let us see that how we can go for screen sharing, where we can see the portal. and this portal Samadhan I will be sharing this portal soon, and let us see what all is there mentioned on the portal and whether we can get the address from the portal. Let us see. This portal will become visible on the screen, and this portal mentions applications filed by micro small enterprises, applications mutually settled, means conciliation, applications yet to be viewed by MSc Facilitation Council, pendency because of the pandemic, the pendency has increased. Applications rejected by MSc Facilitation Council. This is to be taken care of. See, out of 82,000, 15,000 applications are rejected. Almost 19% applications are rejected. What is the reason? That pre-scrutiny of the documents. If pre-scrutiny of documents is not done carefully, then what will happen? That matter will get rejected. And this is not the good thing for any professional. Therefore, that becomes the most critical stage in any assignment which is related to recovery process. Now, let us talk about cases disposed of by MSc Facilitation Council. This is, as I told you, that there are 3 stages. Number 1, application filed but mutually settled by the parties. Number 2, that with the intervention of MSc Facilitation Council, matter is settled. Third is settled by the arbitrator. And cases currently under consideration by MSc Facilitation Council. Let me take you to the point where from we can get the addresses of MSc Facilitation Council, and you can get address of Facilitation Council of your state. See, the list starts with Andaman and Nicobar Island, and this is the link. I shall go back and then again show the link at the bottom. This is mentioned there, MSc Facilitation Council address. And if whatever is your state, you can identify whether that Facilitation Council has been created in your state or not. If it has been created, what is the address of Facilitation Council? Then all these addresses are available on this portal. And the portal job is over here. And once this portal job is over, we can again go for the sharing of the PPT. We were here where the one of the box said finding address of MSc Facilitation Council, and that was the reason that for the benefit of youngsters who are attending this program, I have taken you to the portal so that this becomes easy for you to find out the address of Facilitation Council of your area, your state. Now, let us see what are the milestones and what are the timelines and how this can be done. And every journey for a professional assignment starts with client meeting and proposal. I am nobody to tell you. Each of you already aware about the various things, and therefore let us move immediately to the second point, that is checklist and document receipt. See, checklist is important because once proposal is approved, if checklist is ready, this can be instantly forwarded along with the advance fees invoice, and this checklist for recovery payments shall have at least the following. Number 1, Udyam registration and prior registration as well, because any payment which becomes due prior to the date of the registration cannot be recovered through MSE Facilitation Council. And I'm talking about Udyam registration. What was the name of the prior to Udyam registration? That was Udyog Aadhaar. What was the name prior to that? That was Entrepreneurship Memorandum 1 and 2. So then EM, if your client is old, then EM. If client recently started business, maybe Udyog Aadhaar. Client has recently started, very recently started business last year only, then even Udyog Aadhaar may not be there and he may have straight away taken the Udyam registration. Next step, once the documents are received, after that next step is calculation of interest. How to calculate the interest? For you, this is a cakewalk. And how it is to be calculated, it is mentioned in section, as just now we have revisited the sections in brief, that this interest is to be calculated at the rate of 3 times of the bank rate by RBI. Now, there may be interesting question whether this bank rate shall be taken on the date of application or on the date of billing or on the date of every bill, or how this interest, because this may be the factor which might be varying. Then my suggestion is that at the time of filing of this application for recovery with the Facilitation Council, whatever is the bank rate interest of RBI that you will find on the RBI portal and on other supporting portals, multiply that rate of interest by 3. Presently, this is 4.25. If it is 4.25, multiply this by 3 and you get 12.75. And this 12.75 becomes the interest to be charged for the delayed period. And delayed period counting will start not from day 1, but from 46th day, or if agreement is for less than 45 days, then from next day after the period which is mentioned in the agreement is over. Legal notice serving. Legal notice serving is not necessary. Legal notice serving, I am repeating, legal notice serving is not necessary to take the matter to Facilitation Council, because this is not considered as the litigation. Because it is not considered as litigation, therefore legal notice serving is not necessary, not mandatory. Still, this has been seen that even we advise the clients to first of all serve the legal notice. Because legal notice serving, this has been seen that 10% of the matters get settled even with the serving of legal notice. Serving copy of application to respondent, this is one of the essential conditions, that whenever application is being filed, the copy of this must be submitted to the respondent so that he is aware of the facts and he can prepare his reply according to that. And this is one of the procedural requirement as per Facilitation Council. Once this application has been served to the respondent, then stage comes where MSE Facilitation Council filing is to be done. Fees is to be paid. Physically, some of the MSE Facilitation Council ask for 2 copies. Some of the Facilitation Council ask for 3 copies of the application along with all annexures, photocopied in readable way. Once this application has been filed, fees has been paid. After that, scrutiny of the document happens at the level of Facilitation Council. After this scrutiny of document, date is assigned, and then this date is intimated to both the parties so that parties can attend the hearing. Nowadays, in some of the states, virtual hearing is going on. In some of the states, no hearing going on, no matter has been taken up. For example, in Delhi Facilitation Council, matters have not been taken up since March 2020. For example, in Haryana Facilitation Council is doing even virtual hearing through video conferencing, and I am also privy to attend some of these virtual hearings. facilitated by MSc Facilitation Council to take up the matters during these difficult times. Now, there may be a question in the young mind, what if respondent does not turn up? If respondent does not turn up, then what happens? Because MSc Facilitation Council guidelines are not in that detail. Therefore, what happens that concept of three opportunities prevails even in Facilitation Council. That if respondent has not turned up, then council will ask you, okay, let us fix up the second meeting and let us give second opportunity to the respondent. If respondent does not turn up even on second opportunity, then have you served the copy? Have you received the acknowledgement? If not, then okay, this is third opportunity. Can we resubmit? Can we replace? Can we again supply another copy to the respondent? These type of things do happen in the facilitation council meeting. And concept of three opportunities, that at least three opportunities shall be given to the respondent before deciding the matter on hearing of one-sided story being told by the applicant. And after that, when both the parties are present, then facilitation council endeavor is to achieve the settlement. If any of the party flatly denies that they are not into settlement and they cannot settle because of this and that issue, then what happens? Then reference is made to the arbitrator for the purpose of arbitration, and the matter is referred by MSc Facilitation Council to the arbitrator. And initial meeting with the arbitrator, this happens. After this initial meeting, arbitrator tells about the fees to be paid to arbitrator by both the parties. In some of the states, this fees is payable by facilitation council and arbitrator does not charge anything from both the parties. But in most of the states, this arbitrator fees is separate and this is to be paid half 50% by both the parties. Parties are given opportunity because matter has not been settled, therefore parties reply has not been submitted, then party respondent is given opportunity to submit the reply. If applicant want to file the rejoinder, that opportunity is also given by arbitrator in time bound manner because he has only 90 days to decide the matter as per the law codified. Therefore, he is in hurry, and after this rejoinder and reply to the rejoinder, arbitrator fixes the date for the argument, and after the argument, the order, which is known as award. In case of arbitration, this order is known as award, and arbitrator award is pronounced by the arbitrator. After this rejoinder and its written reply and written argument, award pronouncement happens. And timelines, as I told you, that usually the matters are closed in 3 to 5 months by the arbitrator, and then arbitrator, by pronouncing his award, has to provide, duty bound to provide copy of the award to both the parties and also to forward the award to MSc Facilitation Council for their record. And once award has been pronounced, then what will happen? The respondent can make the payment and buy the fees. If respondent will not make the payment, then what is the course of action available for the applicant? The course of action which is available for the applicant is petition for decree order. Because I have seen that most of the practicing chartered accountant in my circle, they are doing this income tax matters in abundance, and they are appearing before various authorities in the hierarchy of the income tax office. Therefore, this is not the new thing for me. Only thing is that forum is new, and petition for decree order is to be filed in the local court, and this local court is not the local court of the supplier. but local court of the jurisdiction of the buyer. Hearing happens. After that hearing, decree order is passed. After decree order, recovery officer is appointed, and after appointment of recovery officer, auction and recovery happens. Here, just for so that if there are any questions, I shall take up the questions, and then again we will come for frequently asked questions. And in chat box, I don't find any question mentioned anywhere. Therefore, again, let us share the screen again. And this is all the process. Now, let us go for the frequently asked questions in reference to this recovery mechanism. That who regulates recovery mechanism? This recovery mechanism, creation of facilitation council, then activation of facilitation council, then conduct of facilitation council, day-to-day management of the facilitation council, onus is given to the state government. Central government, centralized law, but because this is the matter in the constitution where both the governments are allowed, therefore MSC Facilitation Council overall day-to-day working, creation, composition, all these powers are given to state governments. Then we can say that this recovery mechanism on day-to-day basis under MSME is regulated by state. Is it sometimes professionals ask, is it very difficult to handle such matters? No. Answer is no, not at all. And particularly chartered accountants, they can do anything, and we have seen them successfully even holding the income tax matters where a lot of complications are there. This act is very simple in comparison to income tax. Very less ambiguities. And therefore, anybody can handle. And this is not a rocket science. Only thing is that once you handle it, then you know all the ins and outs. On what basis jurisdiction is decided? As I told you that jurisdiction, let us repeat this, that jurisdiction is decided on the basis of address of supplier, service provider. And now another category after this oblique, you can mention the trader, because traders have been recently added in MSME on the basis of address of supplier, service provider of the trader. Now, let us presume a situation where supplier is located in Punjab. So then where the matter will go? Matter will essentially go to the Punjab MSC Facilitation Council. If supplier is located in Haryana, matter will go to Haryana MSC Facilitation Council. This is quite simple. But now suppose supplier have office in Punjab as well as have office in Haryana, then their matter will go. Because supplier have two offices, or maybe the big supplier who is still MSME, or even small person may have 3-4 offices in various states, then how it will be decided? On the basis of address mentioned in the Udyam registration, on the basis of address mentioned in the invoice, on the basis of location of the supply or the service provided or executed. That way, these are the benchmarks that in case of more than one address, the mother address shall prevail. If mother address, nothing happening from, and then the functional address, this can also be availed by MSC to apply for this payment recovery with facilitation council. Means, just understand it in this way, that address of the purchaser or the buyer or service receiver has nothing to do. Jurisdiction is to be decided on the basis of address of the supplier. Now, there is a tricky question. That tricky question is, can I do it for clients where I am auditor? That answer you have to find. I don't think so. Just kindly focus on non-audit clientele for such assignments. But this you need to discover. As far as I know, statutory auditors cannot provide other services, and this is one of the service. Therefore, I will say on the basis of my limited knowledge that for these type of assignments, you need to focus on non-audit clientele. Another question, how can I find address of MSc Facilitation Council in my state? I have not heard about this. Yes, if you are not practicing in this area, you have not heard about this. That is the only reason. Then because you have not heard about this, then you, if you want to find out the address, there is a centralized location. There is a portal which goes with the name samadhan.msc.msme.gov.in, and here all the council addresses are provided. And when we talk council, this is Facilitation Council. This is MSE Facilitation Council. First, M stands for micro, S stands for small, E stands for enterprises. That means medium enterprises are not allowed to avail the benefit of MSME's Samadhan. Basically, this is not MSME Samadhan, but this is basically MSE Samadhan. Now, let us move to the next frequently asked question, that in comparison to IBC, is it better or IBC is better? See, there cannot be any comparison. These are the alternative mechanisms. And insolvency and bankruptcy code, as you are aware that recently this limit has been increased from 1 lakh to 1 crore. And in case of MSME, rarely we have seen where the claim amount is more than 1 crore. If claim amount is less than 1 crore, you don't have the option to go to IBC. Means you have necessarily have to go for the Facilitation Council. Because in IBC, only the matters where the dues are 1 crore or more, this matter can go. Otherwise, not. Means for smaller amounts, you don't have choice of IBC. Because you don't have choice of IBC, therefore this payment recovery, delayed payment recovery, this MSc Facilitation Council is one of the best forum, and there are reasons for this being best forum. Number one, this forum is created for specific type of business entities, micro and small. How much professional efforts are involved in such cases? This may be another question. If situation normalizes, then physical hearings will start. And this has been seen that usually you need 4 to 7 visits to Facilitation Council of your state. After that, as far as arbitration is concerned, usually this takes 3 to 6 hearings, visits on separate dates. After that, your role is over, whether matter is decided, whether award is pronounced, or whether matter is not taken up, or matter is decided against you. Your role is over, because after that, this matter has to go to court. That is the reason I say that yes, 2 stages are there. First stage is that Facilitation Council, second stage is arbitration. At first stage, usually on the basis of my experience of Facilitation Councils, I can say 3 minimum and 7 maximum. If conciliation fails, then matter is referred to the arbitrator. And at the place of the arbitrator, which is usually from your city, the or neighboring city, the time taken, the number of visits required varies from 3 to 6. Now, there may be another question in comparison to income tax matters, what will be my earnings? Answer is simple. Earnings will be less, not more. But you have to decide whether it appeals you. If it appeals you, then you can jump over here. But things are not as complicated as they are in the matters which are related to income tax. Here, because law is simple, Dhiraj is back, and let us.
I was listening to you. I'm not back. I was very much there. I was listening to you
But
and
because
seeing
I can see
your
your face
budget
and
result.
I invite your comment on this question. You have come on the right question.
So that's why I switch on the camera. I said that look, there's no earning is not less. My that's why I switch on the camera. Earning is not less. Earning is going to be significant. My only the question is you need to have a think on the equivalent sides. Like say suppose the recovery is a 50 lakhs or recovery is a 1 crore, recovery is a 2 crore. Let's say assume such of the amount as a equivalent because we cannot charge on the percentile basis. But you can think of suppose a 1 crore rupee fees is how much you can recovery charges percentage are there. Maybe you can charge such that amount of the fees to the client. So in my point, एनी बिटवीन अमाउंट 1 करोड़ के लिए 2 लाख से 5 लाख 10 लाख तक कुछ भी अमाउंट किसी को भी कोई देने में दिक्कत नहीं है. सो अमाउंट इन टैक्स मैटर्स के रिकवरी ऐसा नहीं टैक्स मैटर में तो असेसमेंट है बट आई कैन से दैट recovery is definitely going to because the person getting the money which is stuck and not receivable and you are getting that money which is a bonus for him is good amount of source of the fees also.
This is nice to listen this comment, and I fully agree with Dhiraj ji that visa efforts earnings are more not less because these assignments are repetitive type of, and you don't need to put much intellectual efforts to get the positive result. Whereas in income tax matters, we have seen that every matter is complex and every matter is different from the earlier matters which you have handled. So therefore, there you need to put more intellectual efforts. You need to put more number of hours as a professional. Here, once you do 3 assignments, then from 4th assignment onward, your even youngest trainee can do 80% of the work and only 20%, top 20% work, your services are needed. So that way, I go with Dhiraj ji that if you compare it visa the efforts, then your earnings here in these facilitation councils are more. Let us go to the next question. And this question is, whether is CA in practice allowed to appear in MSc Facilitation Council? Because Dhiraj ji is here, because he is in Central Council, because professional code of conduct is prepared by young team now. I am seeing it from the time of Mr. in 2015, Mr. Raghu, and before that Sunil Talati. And see, Dhiraj ji, I am privileged. One of my book on MSc, which was published by Institute of Chartered Accountant, was released by K. Raghu in 2015. And at that time, there was a Central Council member, Anuj Agarwal and Jitendra Agarwal. Do you remember?
Anuj was there. Anuj was.
Okay, then he was coordinating, and it was the beauty that it was discussed one fine day. It was written in 15 days and it was published in 1 month, a sort of record. But today I am again interacting with another young council member, and you have come at the right time. Here you can tell at this facilitation council, this is just a platform for conciliation and arbitration. And what I understand, that a practicing chartered accountant is allowed as per professional code of conduct to appear in these facilitation and for arbitration. Kindly clarify this.
Yes, very much allowed.
Yeah, yes. As Dheeraj ji have validated that this is very much allowed as per professional code of conduct, and as far as facilitation council guidelines are there, you are allowed to appear. So then both way clearance is there. One clearance given by Ajay Garg, second clearance given by Dheeraj ji, and then you have clearance that professional code of conduct allows you, and this facilitation council also allows that not only the lawyers but non-legal professionals can also do representation services in front of MSc Facilitation Council as well as in front of the arbitrator. Then you are eligible for both before Facilitation Council as well as before arbitrator. Now, another question, Dheeraj, this question is also very interesting question. Is interest compoundable annually, monthly, or on daily basis? Because I was talking in one of the, because this is mentioned in the law also, that if payment is not given within 45 days, then what is to be there? We all know that this is to be mentioned number one in the balance sheet by way of notes, that this separate amount is payable and this is going on, and identified the section also where this is mentioned, and that is the genesis why in every audited balance sheet we need to mention the amount separately which is payable to MSME. Now, second question is that this interest rate is also codified in the law itself, MSME Development Act. And this interest rate is 3 times of the bank rate, first of all. And today this bank rate by RBI is 4.25%. If anybody is filing this application now, then 4.25% is to be multiplied by 3. And that will be the interest rate. If nothing is mentioned in the invoice or the purchase order, then this is the interest rate which is prescribed in the law, at which interest is to be charged by making application for payment recovery. And this interest is required to be compounded on monthly basis. Not daily, not annually, but on monthly basis, this interest is required to be compounded. That means the original amount. When we file the application for payment recovery, we don't file only for 22 lakh, which is due, which is overdue rather. Because this is overdue, then from 46th days, if nothing is mentioned in purchase order and the invoice, if 30 days in mentioned in the invoice or purchase order, then we start charging this interest from 31st day. If suppose there is an agreement for 90 days payment, then also we start charging this interest from 46th day. And this is compoundable on monthly basis. And calculation is simple, so I need not tell you. Now, there is another question which is generally asked in comparison to civil recovery case. How this MSc Facilitation Council route is placed. So here is the part of the topic aptly designed for today's session is that MSc Facilitation Council route is faster as well as cheaper. Faster because we know a lot of pendency in the local courts. Civil recovery cases takes usually 8 to 10 years. Here matter is disposed of max in a 1 year. So this is faster. And how it is cheaper? Because in most of the states, now what has happened that for every civil recovery case, there is an amount varying from 4% to 12% to be deposited before at the time of filing the civil recovery case. And if case is successful, then this amount is returned back to the applicant. Means if someone owes, someone has to recover 22 lakh rupees, then what will happen, Dheeraj? That first of all, 22 lakh minimum 4% means 22,000 multiplied by 4. 88,000 rupees are required to be deposited in the civil court. Only then this case can be filed, otherwise not. And in MSc Facilitation Council, usually the fees varies from 2,000 to 5,000. None of the state has imposed more than 5,000 rupees fees. Professional fees may be same for civil recovery case as well as for MSc Facilitation Council. But because professionals' time is also less, an advocate for civil recovery case will charge his fees for 10 years. Here matter will be disposed of maximum in 1 year. Here, if Facilitation Council is working, and I shall tell that Delhi Facilitation Council is dead for 1.5 years. After 22nd March 2020, this has not worked. Rarely, just very few matters. If your state is that way, then there is a challenge. Otherwise, we have seen that in 1 year, this process of conciliation as well as process of arbitration, both the process are over. Means your client have to pay only the professional fees for 1 year instead of 10 years. So this is again cheaper. Then because court fees and fees payable to Facilitation Council are also in favor of Facilitation Council. Therefore, this comparison here also tilt in favor of Facilitation Council. So these are the two reasons why this subtopic was beautifully designed by Dr. Sambit Mishra ji, that faster and cheaper, 2 words were added, because Facilitation Council matter is cheaper even in comparison to IBC, even in comparison to civil recovery, even in comparison to even summary cases. And let us move to next question. There may be a question.
Can I ask you one thing?
Yes.
Suppose the person has registered now in the MSME Act, and the matter is pending, 2 years before or 3 years before. Is it possible now to file the case under this MSME FC route or some other?
Yes. See, if matter is already under process with the civil recovery, then for the single
No, matter is not there for civil recovery. It's just outstanding. Matter is lying there only.
yes, Facilitation Council can take up this matter. But for one recovery, we can opt for any one platform. Simultaneously, we cannot opt for more than one platform. Therefore, this is also a sort of pre-scrutiny that if matter is pending at any other court, then one shall not approach MSCFC, otherwise this will get rejected. Dheeraj, kindly ask another question because you were having 2 questions.
Now, my question is the same thing, which is again, suppose just for the clarity for all the members over here, like suppose the person has got registered under MSME and he has given the loan, not its services, not to supply the goods, whether this will cover up in this or not.
Now see, Dheeraj, I salute your knowledge. This is recovery for paid payments from the customers. If it is NBFC, then the loan given by NBFC will be treated as the loan given to the customer. If the company is non-NBFC and it has given loan, then this will be rejected by the Facilitation Council, because that is not the main business of the entity, because this is for recovery from the company. This is very interesting question.
I know that. That's why there are a lot of people ask such kind of questions. So I immediately expect that let's better clarity should come for the members. Confusion will not be there.
Thumbs up for this question. And let us move to another situation.
And even for my earlier question, I personally felt that after getting a registration, whatever the amount going to be there, that is going to become on the MSME FC route or some other. Otherwise, the previous one, whatever you have dealt, it's not under the purview. That is my understanding. I may be wrong.
Yes, you are right. See, unless and until this passport is there, you cannot get the visa. And if passport is vacated, if passport is vacated 16th July 2021, then you cannot get visa on 15th July. This Udyam registration is just like passport.
Correct. Bilkul right.
And this Udyog Aadhar is the earlier name for this Udyam registration. And prior to Udyog Aadhar, we knew it with the name Entrepreneurship Memorandum, EM. This was Enterprise Memorandum. This was the name Entrepreneurship Memorandum, and this is the hierarchy, EM, and prior to that, this was SSI. Means up to 2006, this SSI certificate was there. From 2006, this became EM. From 2016, this became Udyog Aadhar. And from 2020, this became Udyam registration parallelly. And from 1st April 2021, now only Udyam registration is there.
So another question comes
Yes.
here when we are auditor of the
Yes.
private limited company corporate, where we have to disclose how many amount outstanding for the MSMEs companies that has to disclose. They have to. Now another question. There another company which is because the purview has increased from MSME company. Previously the limit was now is 250 crore rupees turnover. A lot of things have increased. Now one MSME to another MSME.
Yes.
So suppose amount are also outstanding to that MSME, whether it will qualify or not.
Yes. Yes.
So my another question is like a small company which under also Udyam registration having outstanding under the another company which is having also a Udyam registration, can they fight between us? There's payment outstanding.
Yes, customer means customer, and there is no segregation on the part of customer. That means large company, medium company, small company, micro company, or non-company, or whatever. But if payment is stuck up, then micro and small enterprises are given this window, and they can initiate action against any of them, whether it is large or medium or small or micro. It is immaterial. Means they also get the heat here, the MSMEs in facilitation council. There is no soft thing if they are the customers. One MSME can file case against another MSME. There is no such bar.
Right. That's the another question which generally people ask.
Yes. Now let us move to question number 12. These are frequently asked questions in various sessions, and this is: can MSME Facilitation Council matter be initiated where 138 matter is pending? Answer is yes, because 138 matter as of now is criminal matter as well. Therefore, and criminal matter once filed cannot be taken back, and this is not considered as parallel proceedings. These are considered as separate. Therefore, this is possible to initiate MSC Facilitation Council application even if 138 matter is pending. This is the only situation. You might have seen even in case of insolvency matters that this is possible to initiate insolvency even if 138 matter is parallelly going on. Now, what is the possibility of recovery through MSC Facilitation Council? Notice stage, 10% of the cases get resolved. Conciliation stage, another 30% of the matters get resolved. Arbitration stage, another 30% of the matters get resolved. And only 30% of the matters goes beyond the stage of filing of application for decree. Usually matters are settled, and rarely this has been seen, though we have seen some of the matters going even up to Supreme Court. Here Supreme Court decided nothing doing because it is mentioned in the law. Therefore, if there is any grievance against the award or the order, 75% must be deposited only then case can be handled by any court, otherwise not. We have seen that cases do get settled and there is very high possibility of recovery, and this recovery happens with the average period of 1 year, and 1 year is not bad.
Sir, Ajay can I have the statistics? If you have a statistics, how many cases
Yes.
are being filed between, on the Samadhan portal state-wise, and how many cases are resolved? So that people can connect. This is the another faster recovery process of the government, which is can be used as a professional opportunity.
Yes, this is good idea, and let us go for this sharing of the screen. And on this screen, the macro data is available.
Excellent. This Samadhan now is like a private kind of website, which gives the entire each and every statistics.
Okay. And forget this. And now let me talk on the basis of my experience. My experience says that yes, seriously, 1/3 of the matters get settled in facilitation council itself. Next 1/3 matters get settled at the arbitration time. Only 1/3 of the matter where actually there is no lena dena. Only this is in books. Only those matters go to the stage of recovery. And there are other matters which go even beyond the stage of recovery and debated, where the person does not have money. Only two types of matters this has been seen goes beyond the stage of arbitration. One, where the customer does not have money. Second, where actually there is no due. And this has been settled between the parties through dirty practices. These are the only two situations on the basis of experience of 20 years in facilitation council that how things are moving. Now let us move to Dheeraj, shall we move to another question?
Of course, yes,
Okay.
definitely.
This 3 times of bank rate interest is very lucrative. Usually this does not happen. Usually what happens that because facilitation council has to facilitate, so therefore they say the applicant that you give the interest, otherwise you will be in court for 10 years.
That's true. Your stuck up the money is coming, so that's better. Let's compromise the interest and you get the payment. That's things like
Even at the stage of arbitration, arbitrator plays on the basis of this interest only. So this works as a cushion, but this has been seen sometimes 6%, 8%, or in good times when rate of interest is high, even 12% was allowed by the arbitrator, but not more than 12%. In present scenario, because arbitrator on behalf of the applicant plays on this interest cushion. Usually this interest has to be sacrificed. If not fully, then partly, and this full 3 times interest does not happen. Therefore, this rosy picture shall not be posed before the class, because we have to be rational. We must, and in our country, when you tell the and only then person is ready to enter into the tunnel of any litigation. So therefore, be ready, be clear that your original amount you will get. This interest is just a sort of cushion. You make, if you are lucky, you will get part of it, but don't say that along with the original money, even interest, you will be able to facilitate for your client. This rosy picture shall not be put up. Anyway, let us go to the next question. What is the latest on this front? Pramod Jainji told in his inaugural address that wholesalers and traders have been included in MSME, and this is the latest on this. And this is latest, and this has opened a big window, because what do you understand by traders? Even
अभी तो
shopkeepers,
डेफिनेशन चेंज कहाँ हुई है? डेफिनेशन चेंज हुई है, उसमें ट्रेडर्स होलसेलर आए हैं, डेफिनेशन में चेंज हुए हैं.
even the shopkeepers, they are now covered in MSME. Not only the suppliers, not only the other, even shopkeepers are now eligible. This has opened a full gateway, and that is the reason why MSMEs associations are writing to the ministry that this MSME window shall not be allowed for wholesalers and traders, and they are having many apprehensions. And after 5 years down the line, we may see another department or another ministry taking care of the pain area of wholesalers and traders. But as of now, this has been this is the latest category. There are two separate classes now, and MSMEs registration, Udyam registration is possible for any wholesaler as well as any trader. What else is latest? What else is latest is simple to remember. Definition of MSME. This has now changed. First M is micro. Therefore, I have put it as a small. This is 1/5. Easy to remember, because second S is there for small. This is 10/50. You need not do anything. Just if you remember any one, and 1 is to 5, and then add 0 and you will get small. And in small, again multiply by 5 and you will get medium. So here you will find that this is easy to remember, that now there are two criteria, but both the criteria apply for all three. Small, all three means manufacturers, service providers, and traders. 1 crore, this 1 represent 1 crore, 5 represent 5 crores, 10 represent 10 crores, 50 represent 50 crores, 50 represent 50 crores, 250 represent 250 crores. And first figure is for investment in plant and machinery. Second figure is for the purpose of turnover. Means 1/5, one is for plant and machinery, second is for turnover, and both the conditions need to be met. Not any of the two, but both the conditions. And if you jump any of the two conditions, then you shift from lower category to higher category, and even this is possible if both the conditions of lower category met. Now this definition has become dynamic. Earlier this was static, and now this is based and linked to the turnover of the last year as disclosed in the tax return. Investment in plant and machinery, that means not all fixed assets, but investment in plant and machinery only to be considered. Land and building is usually the main component of fixed assets, that is not to be counted for this counting of 1, 10 or 50. 1 crore for micro, 10 crores for small, 50 crores for medium. This investment is for plant and machinery, and second is turnover 550 and 250. And this turnover also has a catch. And this definition looks very simple. This may be another question, but it is not so. Answer is that this definition looks simple, but it is not simple due to exclusion of export sales. Export sales to be excluded from these three categories of 5, 50 and 250. If suppose one micro unit is doing 20 crores export by 2 crores domestic sale. So then total sale 22 crores. Whether this will be counted as micro or small? Answer is this will be counted as small, not micro. This will be counted as micro, not small, because domestic turnover is less than 5 crores. means export sale is excluded from the definition of the turnover. And another thing is that only plant and machinery is included in the definition of investment. And what we understand that cost of the project includes all fixed assets, even land and building. But here plant and machinery or equipment only to be included, means even margin money is to be excluded. So therefore this definition looks simple, but this is not so simple, because there are two categories. Category number one is investment, and this is not the investment in total project, but it is only related to plant and machinery or equipment. Anything beyond plant and machinery or equipment is not to be counted. Do we have some other definition of MSME? Yes, we have, Dheeraj, other definitions of MSME also. And this is basically, these are provided in company law. These are provided in SEBI, because you know that there is a separate stock exchange with this, Bombay Stock Exchange, as well as with the NSE, National Stock Exchange. And there this definition is separate, and this RBI also carries this separate definition for MSME. Therefore, remember that this is only one of the definition in our country, and we have other definitions also, which slightly varies from these categories. Now, another question which you might have missed during the deliberation is how much amount need to be deposited for appeal against order, award or decree. Suppose order is pronounced by facilitation council, but respondent is not comfortable, he is not ready to pay 50 lakh rupees, then what he needs to do? If he wants to file the appeal, then he has first to deposit 75% of the amount. 75% of 50 lakh means 37.5 lakh he has to deposit in the court. Only then he can file appeal against this order by order or award or decree. That is the reason that rarely we see the cases which goes in appeal against this facilitation council. And this rider is mentioned in MSME Development Act itself. And there is another relaxation, whether legal notice is mandatory. No, this is not mandatory. But this is practice being followed. Why this practice is being followed? Even I follow this practice, though this is not, legal notice is not mandatory, but still we serve the legal notice, because this has been seen that 10% of the matters get resolved even at the stage of legal notice. Therefore, though it is recommendatory only, but this makes sense to serve the legal notice. Dheeraj, you want to say something on this? Okay.
Carry on.
What is the penalty for filing false claim? Actually, we were talking about just a few questions before that can this claim be filed against the MSME? Answer was yes. I was also talking about that what type of matters usually go to the appeal. And two categories can be identified on the basis of experience. One, where actually there are no dues. Dues have been settled through some cross entry or something else or some dirty practices, but money is standing in the balance sheet. So in such situations, this has been seen that matter goes to appeal. And there is another situation where the respondent does not have money to pay. If he does not have money to pay, then you know what is the situation, that whatever may be the order, because he actually does not have money, therefore this cannot happen. Now, another question, which is just the borderline question on the basis of the question which was asked by Dheeraj ji, that if one company has extended loan to another company, whether this matter can go to MSEFC. I told that if it is NBFC, this can. If this is non-NBFC, this cannot. But there may be another question by Dheeraj. Therefore, this is mentioned here that advance deposit, EMD, earnest money deposit or statutory deposits can be claimed. Answer is yes. There can be another question, can claim be filed against the government or public sector undertakings or government department? Answer is yes. There is no such bar. Dheeraj, usually we keep some 15 minutes for the questions, or how do we proceed? Kindly unmute yourself, Dheeraj. Dheeraj, kindly unmute yourself so that
There is a question from
Okay.
the participant.
perfect.
I'm aware of it. Some of the questions may definitely been answered by you, but still, for repetition, cost of repetition, I'm repeating again. If vendor is registered under MSME Act, and if the customer signing agreement with 60 days credit period, what should vendor do? Whether vendor is under fault due to the signing the agreement, in this situation, whether customer is at default and consequences.
Yes. Then here we are formally finishing this PPT. Dheeraj, first of all, and today you have given me a tough task because I was asked to tell swimming lessons to the fishing, and chartered accountants are like that, but still let us finish it here, and then I shall stop sharing the screen. And Dheeraj, now kindly repeat the question.
Correct. I'm doing it. I'm doing that. Rather than that question, I'm putting another questions, which is asked by the people. The servicing of copy to the other party done by the complainant or MSEFC? EFC.
Usually,
राजेश मंगल जी हैं, उनका क्वेश्चन है.
yes, by complainant.
Serving of the copy to other party done by the complainant or MSEFC?
By complainant.
By complainant. So the answer is by complainant. Another Karan Badi Bola ji hai. He has a company admitted under IBC. Then moratorium bill applicable to MSME creditors or no?
Answer is
yeah. And how MSME creditor classify in the priority under section 42 of waterfall mechanism in IBC or on liquidation of company?
no priority in waterfall mechanism. No priority under waterfall mechanism, and they are bracketed with unsecured creditor. This is one of the demands.
So I think IBC supersede the
Yes.
other law. So I think everything is written in the IBC Act. So you cannot count it in this. If the company is going in IBC, then definitely you will not have any immunity, any kind of benefits which are getting MSME. So it's very clear. It's very clear. IBC. Okay.
Most of the industry associations representing MSMEs have raised this question to Nitin Gadkari.
हाँ नहीं वो तो सब लोग देखो इसमें क्या है कि ये फैक्ट भी है. मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ. आपको फैक्ट इसलिए बता रहा हूँ. What are the reason being that because the one company of 30,000 crore rupees debt is going for NCLT or for in the IBC, and out of that 5,000 crore rupees got stuck up of the creditors. It's basically they are a MSME and they got stuck because of the this IBC process, and because of that they got stuck. They become also in the problem and they can facing the problem of the IBC. So such is a very redundant. So there has to be some immunity for the MSME people. Those are getting affected with a big company or IBC course. Such amounts should be something should be there. That is, we are also asking something immediately for the MSME people. And they will definitely represent along with you. So now the another question is, if the payment terms is 15 days, and if the payment is not made within the 15 days, then the supplier need to wait for 45 days to file the recovery application, or after that 15 days he can file.
Agreement.
So a payment term is 15 days, and if the payment is not made 15 days,
5 days.
to file the application, recovery application, whether he has to wait for 45 days or after 15 days only he can file.
He can.
So point is that once your date is 15 days or 20 days or 25 days or 40 days or 45 days, whatever the days is there, or 60 days, after that only immediately you can file the application for the recovery. MSME consists of micro, small, medium sector enterprise. Is this reference to Felicitation Center available to medium sector enterprise also? I think no.
Kindly repeat this question.
MSME consists of micro, small, and medium.
Yes.
In this reference to Felicitation Center, which is available to the MSME, is available for medium sector enterprises also?
No.
Even when the first slide was there, it's only for small and micro, not for the
Yes.
medium. Your first or second slide was there.
Yes.
Okay. Does limitation apply to MSME Samadhan application? Shivansh Mehra ji ka question hai. Does limitation apply to the MSME Samadhan application?
Yes.
What limitations?
Applies.
Limitation applies, but which till which period he can apply? Maybe limitation period of maybe 3 years.
Limitation applies. That
Limitation applies.
beyond 3 years, so then they will reject it. You have
Yes.
on the portal, rejections are also there. Most of the rejections are for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, that registration is post-dated. And reason is that this is beyond limitation period.
So another question Rahul Agrawal ji पूछ रहे हैं, what documentation has to be prepared for filing application with the Felicitation Council, and that the what care has to be taken before filing the same with the Felicitation Council?
See, most of the MSFCs have prescribed format for application.
Okay.
Yes. Kindly check this format from your state.
Every state has a different format, Felicitation and Center, then they can apply, right?
Yes.
So after the application, what is the next step?
Yeah. Next step is scrutiny, followed by date for hearing.
ठीक है, अभी मतलब हियरिंग आ गई, हियरिंग में हमने सबमिट कर दिया, जो पेपर है वही सबमिट करेंगे वहाँ पे. ग्रीवेंसेस होंगे कि डॉक्यूमेंट वो बोलेगा कि नहीं आपने माल खराब किया था, ये नहीं दिया था, प्राइस पैसा नहीं मिलता है, जो भी है. हियरिंग हो गई, उसके बाद क्या नेक्स्ट? What is the next step after hearing?
Now, let me put it this way, that scrutiny followed by removal of errors, further followed by date of hearing. So date of hearing is after removal of errors.
Yes.
Date of hearing, both the parties are summoned to be present either personally or through representative in front of the Facilitation Council.
ठीक है.
Facilitation Council make efforts for conciliation. Facilitation Council makes efforts for conciliation. That is what happens on the date of hearing.
ठीक है.
They just go with the facts that whether goods was actually supplied, what are the proofs, whether documents are there and that or not. And after that, if something is being put by the opposite party, then they listen to that. If opposite party asks for submission of the reply, then they allow the time for reply also. But they ask, but the counter question also during the meetings. Meetings are usually held in the conference room.
Hmm.
Meetings are usually held either in the conference room or in the office of the director of industries of the state.
Hmm.
And conciliation efforts are made by the so that both parties come on the same page. If some sacrifice is to be made by the agreement, then they insist upon that make this sacrifice otherwise. And if conciliation effort fails, then what happens? If
Hmm.
conciliation efforts fails, then matter is referred to empaneled arbitrator.
Hmm.
Suppose it is not must that conciliation will be successful. If conciliation efforts fails, then matter is referred to empaneled arbitrator. That is the second step. And here, the select provisions of Arbitration Act also applies. Select provisions of Arbitration Act applies.
Hmm.
Means if jumping into this thing, then basic provisions of Arbitration Act one need to go through, brush up, so that at the time of arbitration proceedings, the professional is comfortable.
Okay, very fine. Now, my next question is if vendor is registered under MSME D Act and if the customer signing agreement with 60 days credit period, what should vendor do? Whether vendor is under fault due to the signing the agreement in this situation, whether customer is at default or consequences. I don't know why it is questioned against. It's a 60 days period, then it's a 60-day period. Has to follow with the 60 days. If your payment is not coming after 60 days, then only you can you apply because you have signing the agreement. This is your problem.
Yes.
There's no anyway. Next question: can the purchaser seek help in recovering his payment made to the supplier in advance, whose GST registration was cancelled suo motu? The advance payment as well as GST amount paid are irrecoverable. How can purchaser seek remedy?
Yes. This has been already told that advance is also recoverable under MSE Act.
Hmm.
If purchaser has paid the advance, he is covered into MSME, but supplies have not come and advance is also not being returned. Then purchaser steps into the shoe and he can file this matter in MSE Facilitation Council for recovery of his advance debt.
One of the excellent move. I think this is the very valid point and very knowledgeable point to all the members. Even advance is also covered. As of now, we just knowing that it's a payment recoverable from supply or goods or services. Now it's not only that, even the advance you have given and not supplied any services or goods, you can recover the money. That's another point. Next question is, one contractor firm provided construction services to the MSME unit 2 years back. Contractor firm registration under Udyam in the current year, whether this firm can apply to the MSFC for the payment which was due for 2 years back. In this case, contractor firm does not have purchase order in their name. Only evidence in the favor of. I think no, it's very clear. We have already discussed this point. The person who got supplied or 2 years back and now got registered, the immunity will not be available. Immunity will be available from now only. Now after whatever the goods you're going to supply, that will be available. I think it's fine. Already suggested passport visa.
Passport
Yes.
visa cannot happen. Let us put it like this.
Good. So I think now it's everyone has clear about their thought, conceptualized clear. this is a opportunity for a recovery amount of suppliers which is stuck, which is legitimately due, not got it within a year. Where the other case in IBC you cannot file because it's not a 1 crore rupees amount. Second thing, civil court, it will take a longer period for 5 to 10 years, the recovery amount. The next a recovery amount is MSME Facilitation Center. This is the council which is going to be there, where the money recovery can be happen within a year. That's also a opportunity for the any professional. So this is the Ajay Garg, who's having a authority in this area, explained in that detail. This is a fine-tuned draft, which is small point has been discussed, and he has come out very frequent question. Though there was some question from our side, also been connected to the all people. Is very nicely covered the topic which previously asked by us. It's maybe around for topic is a half an hour, but how the topic half an hour is got extended to 2 hours. It's a live example about the small points which need to taken care of it, and how the interesting things can convert to the professional body. So very nice, Ajay ji. आपने बहुत अच्छा कवरेज किया, पॉइंट को डिस्कस किया, एलेबोरेट किया, एंड हमारा जो समाधान है, जो आज जो समाधान होता था वो समाधान कॉर्पोरेट का था, एसएमई का था, लेकिन आपने चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट की डाउट का समाधान कर दिया. तो ये समाधान हमारे लिए भी समाधान था, प्रोफेशनल के लिए समाधान था, एक अपॉर्चुनिटी के लिए समाधान था, वो आपने समाधान कर डाला. वेरी थैंक यू for this wonderful talk.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So thank you all participants for hearing this particular topic. I hope you will enlighten with this his topic and get involved in this area. With this, thank you everyone. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.